All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another installment of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. It's a glorious time of the year. Summer is just around the corner. Speaking of summer, we swim a lot in the summer, and the word swim can be spelled the same way upside down. I want to let that marinate with you for a second.
Wow. I love that.
My next guest is someone who is very hard to pin down, but we finally got something to work. Even off camera, we were trying to fix the audio and the video, but we made it work, and I'm super excited.
Yes.
So without further ado, she is an actress, a model, a singer, and an overall talented titan. Please welcome Ashley Rose Sachs to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you doing this. And you're joining me.
Yes, of course.
You're joining me from Florida, right?
I am.
Nice. Sunny weather.
Yes.
Is it really muggy down there?
Right now, it's actually, there's like a tropical storm, some tropical storm stuff is going on. So, but, I'm born and raised in Florida. So I know for me, I'm like, if there's a tropical storm, it's nothing. It'll give it a day or two or give it an hour and then it'll be beautiful. So
yeah,
I don't really worry too much about the weather situation. Maybe I should sometimes, but I'm like, you know what? It's just one of those things. Like, you just kind of gotta, like when there's like a hurricane, I'm like, I'm that person. I literally wait till the last minute because I'm like, there's no hurricane. Like, hurricane, what? Like, I'm so like nonchalant about it. And all my friends are like, yeah, did you get water? Did you get this? Did you get that? And I'm just like, it's fine. It's gonna pass. Like, don't worry. And then it usually does pass because I don't know, I'm big on like manifesting too. I always think like,
yeah,
if you, whatever you set your mind to, like, I think I'm like, it'll be fine. It's going to pass. Then before you know it, what do you know? It passes. So here we are. No,
so are you
call me meteorologist? No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, are you saying on the Reyes Reflection that you can make weather pass? Oh my goodness.
I mean, I will tell you something really funny that happened. So I was at one of my best friends' bachelorette. We had like her weekend or whatever, and we had to like go on a boat one day. And all my friends know that I'm like very big on like manifesting and like law of attraction and things like that. So there was one day my friend goes, "All right, Ash, I need you to manifest really good weather. Like it's gonna rain, it's gonna be so shitty, but we have to go on this boat, and you need to like do something." So I literally go, manifesting good weather, and I just start like going off. And what do you know? The weather was fine, and we literally had ourselves a beautiful day. And it's funny, by the time we got back from the boat, it started to rain. So it was like we like had our moment, but then it did rain eventually. But it was just funny how like my friends were like, all right, Ashley, we need to have nice weather. You got to put your good energy out there, give that manifestation vibes. I'm like, I got you.
And it
Stand
worked.
by.
It worked.
Yeah.
So in other words, ladies or gentlemen, for that matter, if you need someone in your wedding party that will make weather go away on the day of the wedding, this is your gal right here.
Listen, a manifestation, baby. That's it. But little tip, it's actually good luck for it to rain on your wedding day. So if it does rain, don't worry, like let it do its thing. But what I've found is that when I've gone to weddings, it's like it'll rain a little bit and people will kind of freak out, and then it's like beautiful. So
yeah,
it's like with anything, you got to let the storm pass to get the beautiful rainbow. And I feel like it just kind of like it like cleanses the energy. I actually love when it rains. I think it's super like soothing, and I love like being home when it's raining. I feel like it's like a time of reflection and like shedding the old, going in with the new. And I don't know, for me it's like I don't mind if it rains, but when there are plans involved, guys, I'm just saying, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. No,
we'll put my good juju out there.
No, totally agreed. I'm with you. I actually love the rain. I especially on hot summer days, I'm running in the rain and dancing and having a good time. So
that's great. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's just something I've always liked to do. My favorite is those hot summer days, and then you can go out in the rain for a little bit and just kind of dance around a little bit, and you're cleaning the sweat. It's like you said, you're cleansing yourself of a bunch of...
Yeah, you really are. You're cleansing your soul. I mean, you need, in order for flowers to grow, you need to water them, right? It's the same thing like with ourselves. Like you need to drink water to, to grow and to hydrate. And like we're all pretty much like plants too, right? Like just human form, you know?
Human plants. I have a question for
right?
you. I have a question for you about life in Florida. Are the gators real? Are like is that shit real?
That is a thing.
Yeah.
So I have not actually seen that many gators, thankfully, because I'm that kind of person. I don't like really like reptiles. Like I respect them. I'm like, I think they're great. You know, do your thing. Lizards, it's fine. But I'm just like, that's a no. So I don't really care for them. And thankfully I haven't crossed too many paths with alligators or gators or, you know, things of that nature. But yeah, it is a thing. And, you know, whenever there's like a lake in a neighborhood, it'll have like a gator sign, and like dogs have been like eaten from gator. Like it's kind of crazy. Like it's kind of like, if you have a dog, just be careful like walking your dog, because I don't know, like that shit's wild. But yeah, it is a thing. You know, there are a lot of iguanas. So if you drive around in Florida, you'll definitely see a lot of iguanas just like sunbathing. And I don't mind iguanas. I feel like they're actually interesting looking, but I'm also like, okay, don't get too close to me, you know, like just keep your distance. Like I can love you from afar, you know, I respect you from afar.
You're not a
don't touch me.
You're not a reptile person. That's what it is.
Well, okay, so I don't mind little snakes. I think little snakes are actually kind of cute, like when you hold them, right?
Yeah.
But big snakes, I'm like,
no,
like that's no. And then having to feed the snakes. So, you know, being a vegan, I just feel like I would feel so like sad, like having to feed a snake a lot, like a mouse. Like, I don't know. I just think that's so like savage. So I'm like, you know, like I said, I can respect you and love you from afar, but you will not come into my vicinity. Like I will not have you as a pet.
And I do not, I don't want to see it either. I don't know. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
I like cringe. I can't. Yeah. So that's a no for me. So
you touched base on it. You're a vegan. How come you adopted this lifestyle?
Yeah, so for me, being vegan has always been something I've been super curious about growing up, and I never really liked like red meat anyways. I always would I would have like chicken, and
same,
you know, I would have fish, and I don't know, for me it was like the red meat, it was just like an easy thing. I never liked pork, like I never liked like deli meats really. I've always been curious about it, and you know, I kind of experimented. Like when I got into modeling, I wanted to lose a certain amount of weight. So I'm like, oh, let me go vegan. And like, that is not the way to do it, guys. Like if you want to go vegan, do it for reasons, not just to lose weight, because like, yeah, the weight will fall off. But at the same time, like you want to do it in a way that's like really, you know, going to stick. Like, okay, so now that I'm vegan, it's like, I've learned so many benefits from like why it's good to be vegan. I actually, one of my best friends and family members, like she actually cured like cancer from going vegan, you know? So that was like a big thing for me to learn. And, you know, it's always been one of those things. I'm very big on like the environment and like taking care, and like, I love animals. And so I kind of just like did the transition, you know, I, like I said, I experimented and tried to lose weight, and I realized this isn't like, 'cause then I would have like one day a week where I would eat like all the things, where it really was just like pizza and like cheese bread and like whatever. And I realized like that's not a way to sustain something. Like it's more of a lifestyle. And you know, whatever, years went on, and then when I found out that my friend, you know, literally cured her illness from going vegan, that was an eye-opener. I was like, wow, like you literally can heal your body in so many ways. And I just educated myself. I watched a lot of documentaries, and like I watched Game Changers, What the Health, Forks Over Knives, and I just really wanted to learn like all the things about veganism and like why it's a thing and why are people doing it and what does it do for you. And my biggest thing was giving up cheese. I thought that was the hardest part. Like cheese is like, that was like my thing. Like I love, and even to this day, like I still like the cheesy texture, like things like that, like, you know, vegan mac and cheese or like vegan grilled, like I still like those kinds of things. But so then what I did was I just watched all the videos on like how dairy was made. And I'm like, listen, bitch, if you're going to go and do this, like you have to watch all the things. Like you have to know, like, where does it come from? What is involved? Like, how are the animals being treated? Like I wanted to give my mind all of the things, so I would never want to even think about going back. You know what I mean?
So it's not even an option anymore. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, well, I've learned so much about it now. It's like, actually, little fun fact. at the end of the day, we are all lactose intolerant because you only want to really drink milk from your mother, right? So when we're drinking cow's milk, we're literally taking the milk from the calf and drinking it for ourselves. Like that milk is for their baby, right? Like we're supposed to drink milk from our mothers. So it's just like an interesting, one of the things of why, it's better to stay away from dairy. It's because, dairy's like, it's not unless it's like from your mother, like you don't really want to be having it too much. But, I know there's so many like different verdicts out there and everyone has their own opinion and people think, oh, you need dairy, blah, blah. I personally have felt that since I have stopped having dairy and like since I became vegan, my health has like gone through the roof. I feel like my skin has improved. I used to have like acne, like I used to, I used to get like anxiety, and I honestly feel like going vegan has just really helped me to like stay calm and like, more focused, and I'm not like running around like, I don't know. I just feel like it's also so much easier than people think. I feel like people think when you're vegan, you don't eat anything, but bro, I eat so much food. Like I literally eat all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the carbs. Guys, you need carbs. I don't care what anyone says. Like all these things about.
I'm a big carb
like,
guy.
I don't know how people don't eat carbs. I'm like, everything is a carb too. At the end of the day, fruits, vegetables, like everything is a carb. And when people are like, oh, I want to lose weight, like no carbs, no bread. I'm like, honey, you literally need like some kind of like your body needs carbs, bro. Like I don't care what anyone says. Like that just seems so silly because even for me, like I've had points where I've like wanted to tone up more and like lose weight and whatever. And I'm like, okay, no bread. And then I'm like, I find myself starving and like, going through my kitchen and stuff. And now I eat carbs every single day. I'm talking pasta, bread. Like,
I love
and
bread
I'm telling
and pasta.
Yeah. And my body has been like the leanest it's been. And I feel like it's because I'm just giving it what it wants, like I'm not trying to, steer it away from what it's desiring. Like if I want vegan pizza, I'm gonna have some vegan pizza. Like it's okay. I can work out or whatever. It's all about balance too at the end of the day. So
moderation.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I'm the same way. I went to a vegan restaurant in Seattle. Incredible.
Okay.
I loved it. It was one of the best experiences I've had. And I've always said that I wish if I knew how to cook, I think I would go vegan. And that's true. I'm not just saying that just because you're here. I've talked to my family and friends about it. If I knew how to like properly make myself, but I eat like I'm a 10-year-old, so I throw myself chicken fingers and French fries, and that's my. But I am similar to you in the way I've given up red meat for the vast majority of my life. I have not and people are like, oh, like, don't you miss a nice steak? Don't you miss? I'm like, no, like it never really was appeasing to me or appetizing to me.
Yeah.
Not that I found people that do. I have friends and families that love it. It's just never been my thing. It's never has.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you. It's like, if you're not craving it anyway, like people ask me like, oh, do you ever miss having meat? And I'm like, no, like because for me that was not the thing. Like giving up meat was super easy for me.
It was
and
cheese.
Then I would do fish. Cheese. It was just the cheese, dude. It was the cheese, the butter. Like that was my thing. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like I love like a good mac and cheese or pizza, like pasta with Parmesan cheese. Like that was or the mozzarella string cheeses.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would go through a pack. Like it was so bad, but. Yeah. And then I remember the last time I had fish, it was like, because at that point I was like, okay, let me like, I gave up the red meat, gave up the chicken, all those things. And then I'm like, I'll just do fish and I'll do, dairy before I became completely vegan. I remember like at the time, it was like my ex, he literally got this fish. Like it was the freshest fish. Like I'm talking caught it fresh, like wild caught, whatever. And I remember I was eating it and I saw the bones and I just felt like, okay, no, like this is it for me. Like I'm done. Like that was like the tipping point for me. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Like I'm going to do this. And then I just like educated myself like even more. And even to this day, I'm still like always learning about different things. And I think the biggest thing about going vegan though, is knowing what to eat. And that was what I learned. Like, as I've transitioned and having people in my life that were already vegan, like when you know what to eat, it makes it that much easier. Like when you know your protein sources, like when you know how to get the vitamins that you need, when you know what supplements you need. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs supplements. Like you need a good calcium, like you need a good fish oil or flax or like omega 3, 6, and 9. And a lot of that, that comes from fish, but there's so many other sources like flax seeds, for instance, provides all your omegas. And all you got to do is you can do a couple scoops, like a couple tablespoons in a smoothie, or, you can take actual flaxseed oil, like sprinkle it over a salad or some food. And like, there's so many other ways to get all the sources that you need. And I think that's where people get, misconstrued, is they think when you're vegan, you don't get all the nutrients. But if you just do the research and you look up like all the different protein options and all the different things, it makes it a lot easier. And even like there's so many meal prep services now, like that you can order, that I started doing. Shout out to Ideal Nutrition. I just started doing that and it's so freaking good. And I love that they have all the vegan options. And yeah, I'm always like looking up different things. And I think it's important to educate yourself and just, know all the ins and outs of whatever it is that you want to do with your life, whether it's going vegan or whatever. So
it's always good to be knowledgeable in anything 100%. You do. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, good for you. And I'm glad it's working out for you. I've heard about the flax seeds. I mean, I definitely I have a person in my life who's been trying to push that on me. So I definitely do understand what you're saying. So good for you. I think that's very resourceful of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it's awesome. I think everyone should try it. I mean, it's one of those things like, I have so many friends that are like, oh, like I think it's so awesome that you're vegan, but oh my God, I can never, like, what do you do? Blah, blah. And I'm like, look, you don't have to you don't have to go vegan to help your body, like, or help the environment. You can just, have like one meal a day that's like meat free. You know what I mean? One meal a day.
I was going to say that.
Or one meal a week. It doesn't have to be that serious, like people just, I'm like, do what you want, like do what makes you feel good. Cause I know some people have like certain blood types and like they need meat, or I don't know. I always feel like there's a way, if you want to be vegan, like you can do it in a way and be healthy. But I know some people get concerned because like, oh, but like my blood type is this, like, I need to be having X, Y, and Z. And it's like, look, it doesn't have to be serious. Like if you don't want to go vegan, that's totally fine. But if you want to try it out and see if it works for you, do like one meal a day where it's vegan, or one day a week where you're just eating vegan the whole day, and see how you feel. If it works for you, great. If not, for me, it works really well. I've been vegan now over 7 years, and I feel like it's one of those things. I'm so happy that I am, because I feel like I said, my skin's improved, my body, everything. Like, I just think it's really beneficial, but also just, listen to your body and, don't worry about it. If you want to go vegan but can't, not a big deal. Like, it's fine. Just do whatever works for you.
Exactly.
One day at a time.
And I like the advice that you gave, because it's so true. Because I think people, when they think about it, they think of it as, oh, it's so daunting, and it's like, well, one meal a week, one meal a day, or like just think about one thing rather than overwhelm yourself. And I feel like that's with almost anything in life. People overwhelm themselves way too fast, because they're like, oh my God, I could never do that. And it's like, well, let's try one meal. That's it. One meal.
Right. And that's exactly. And I think with anything in life, like one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time, like see how you feel, listen to your heart, your heart, your gut and your heart always know, like your body knows more than your mind. And if you just take a moment, like, just be like, look, like if you feel like you need something, like, okay, hold up. What do I actually need right now? Like, am I hungry? Do I need to go for a walk? Is my house a mess right now? Do I need to go clean my car? Do I need to go pay my bill? Like anything. Like I feel like we're all like hungry for something. Like, and I think that's something too with like, even with like weight management or anything in life. It's like, learning how to like take a pause. Like if you want to do something, like that's cool, but just, you don't need to go all in. Like, oh my God, like 0 to 100, like you do baby steps. Like the one thing I've learned, I feel like in life is like, and as I've gotten older, it's like, I used to be very like, okay, it has to be this or that, like, this way or that way. And it's like, it's okay to have a gray area. It doesn't have to be black or white. It's a gray area is good, because it's like, that's that learning experience. That's where you're dipping your toes, you're navigating, you're seeing what works, what doesn't. Like, be in the gray area, find what works. Find what makes sense. Like,
Couldn't
You
agree
know what
more.
I mean?
Could not agree more. I say all the time, my whole life is a fucking gray area. Like, it's not black and white.
I love that.
It's true. It's true. No,
life's a fucking gray area.
I grew up in a crazy household, all brothers. It was never black and white. It was never black and white. So it's like, and now it's funny because when as I'm getting older, and I hear people that are like black and white in that mindset of like, oh, it's either this or this. To me, I'm like, there's a whole lot of gray in there, right? Like, I mean, come on now. Like, I almost try to, I try to advocate for that gray area. I'm like, yeah, no, live in the gray area.
Dude, and you know what? It's so true because it's like, I feel like there's so many things in life where, you have to know right now. Like, oh my God, it's either this or that. Like, boom, like you have to know. But it's like, bro, you really don't have to know
It's not that deep. Not that deep.
Nothing is that. Like at that moment, it's like, let's break it down. Okay, what do I actually need to do right now at this very moment that's going to take me to the next step?
Exactly.
Instead of being like, oh my God, I have to do, because I feel like for me sometimes, like, I'm very like on the go. Like I like to be like, go, like whatever. But I've also realized like, you got to like take that pause and like, just and have days where you're not like running around, or like have days where you're resting, and that's so productive too. Like having rest days and having days where you're just like, even like if you're just sitting on the couch all day and you just want to watch TV, like I wouldn't do it every single day, but if you have a day like that, like it's okay. And hey, if you're going through something in your life and you know what, that's helping you like just get by and feel good about yourself, fuck it, go watch TV every day for a week and like see, like honestly, I think that's the thing. It's like nothing is that serious. Like one of my best friends, she said something to me and it stuck. And she's like, nothing matters and no one cares.
Yeah.
That's so fucking true.
It's true. It's true.
Because at the end of the day, think about it. You are doing you and no one understands. That's fine. Like, of course, if you have people in your life though that really know you and they are concerned for you, I would take their opinions into consideration. But at the end of the day, just do you. Like, do whatever you feel, whatever you need to do, but one moment at a time, one step at a time. Like, no need to rush. Like, just everything's going to be fine. It's going to work out. Like, it will work out because that's how life. Like, life works itself out. Sometimes not the way that you want, sometimes not the way that you think, but it does work itself out, and it always is for the greater good at the end of the day, I think. So. And
manifest it the way that you do. I want to ask. Yes. I want to ask you this. Because you're talking about like nature and your love of that. Are you familiar with earthing or grounding? Are you familiar with that?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Are you kidding? Are you into that? Okay, because
I'm so into it.
I do it all the time.
I do need to do more of it though. I need to like step up my grounding game. So you just reminded me.
So
yes, I am very into it.
So my off days that I'm not at the gym, that's what I do. I'm sitting outside, I'm earthing, I'm grounding, and it's just funny because it's like, I think for some people they think it's like weird and like hippie, and I'm like, you don't understand how nice it feels. I don't think, to me, I'm like, when I was a kid, I used to run around in the grass all day and dirt and whatever, barefoot, and not give two fucks, not even care. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and it wasn't until the last, maybe I want to say like 3 or 4 months, where I was like, I'm gonna really try to implement this into my day-to-day life, and I'm like, it feels amazing. It's incredible. I'm like, where have you been all my life? Why did I'm almost mad at myself that I went my whole life wearing shoes. Like it's no, but
I feel you though. It's so true.
I just wanted to ask you about that because it was when you were talking about how you love nature and you love just an all encompassing type of feel. It's definitely something that I would concur.
Oh, 100%. And with it's like, it's one of those things like, okay, I always say when people are when they come up to me and they're like, oh, they say their head hurts or this hurts or they're in pain or whatever. I'm always like, all right, well, have you been outside? Like, what is your diet? Okay. Do you exercise? Are you drinking enough water? It's like are you getting enough sunshine? Like, these are things that it's like basics, right? It's like things that we've done, like you're saying, like since we're kids, like,
and then we lose it.
Being outside too all the time, and it's like that's where we got to get back to. And it's like, I think that's part of growing up. It's like, you realize all the basic things that we've needed when we were children, they're the same things we need as adults, like we want to be happy, we want to be outside, we want to, have good social connections and, and laugh and be like little kids, right? But as adults, of course. And, with grounding, it's such a great way to connect because, there's nothing better than connecting with nature. I always say,
Mother Earth.
For me, the first thing I do every single day when I wake up in the morning is I open the shades. I let the natural light come in, and because it helps me, it gets me going. And when I'm driving in my car, I have a sunroof. I go out and open the sunroof, and I let the air flow. And these are things that I'll do. And if I don't spend too much time outside, I'm like, at least I'm getting like that natural light.
Yeah.
And living in Florida too, I feel like it's so nice because there's many beautiful days. Like there's many sunny days, and that's what I love so much is because like I love the beach. For me, like if I ever feel like I'm in a funk, I'll tell you right now, I'm like, I need to go to the beach. I need to go to the beach, get my feet in the sand. I need to go walk in the water, feel the salt water. And there's just something about it. Like when you go out there and you feel your feet hit the sand, it's like all the ions and the negative ions. And there's so much science behind it. And I wish I could go more into detail. I can't think of all the things right now. But, if you research it, I actually have a video on it on my TikTok about all the grounding benefits. And, there's just so many great things that you could do for your body naturally, like you don't have to go to the doctor, you don't have prescriptions and all these things that people think, you need this, and that. Like when you're feeling off, if something's going on with you, get back to the basics. Maybe sit and breathe for a few minutes. Breathing is so, so important. And, anxiety is what happens like when you forget to breathe, like really that's what it comes down to. And even just doing some yoga poses. I mean, I love, for me too, like doing yoga on the beach. So that way you're getting the grounding and you're getting the meditation and you're getting the stretching. Like there's so many ways to incorporate it. And even having plants, like having real plants in your home is like, it's not grounding. I mean, it is like grounding, but you're not like actually putting your feet on the floor, but you're bringing all that nature into your home, into your life, and it's bringing more life into your life, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, life into your life, right? I don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Fitness. You're big into that. What's your fitness routine? You work out every day? You work out every other day? What do you got?
Yeah. So I'll be honest, this past week or so, I have not been on my A game as much because I'm actually in the process of moving. So, I don't know about you, but moving is just, it's a very overwhelming experience. Overwhelming, but exciting.
Yep.
I'm moving into my first place, like by myself, and, I'm super excited about it. And, I think for me, it's like so my routine is I do spinning. It goes between spinning, yoga, and then weightlifting. So I do spinning about 2 to 4 times a week. And then I'll do yoga about 2 to 3 times a week. And then I'll do strength training about 2 to 3 times a week as well. And I know you're probably thinking about, okay, all these days, that's more days in a week. But what I do is I like to double up. So like I'll do like a spin class, for instance, maybe I'll do like a weight training class in the morning, then a spin class, strength training, and then yoga. Like normally on a normal week for me, I'll do like 2 a days. So I know people are looking at me, they're like, why the fuck? Like, why do you work out so much? Honestly, it's just like a stress reliever for me. Like I love moving my body. I feel like I just feel good. I love to feel good, and I love to be at that highest headspace that I can be at. And I know for me, exercising gets me there. Like I know whatever I'm going through, like if I got something on my mind, whatever, like when I work out, I feel strong. Like I feel capable. I feel confident. I feel like I can do anything, honestly. And it's such a therapeutic thing for me.
Yep.
So that's really what my routine is. And I'll do that, I'll do that at least like 4 to 5 days a week, like consistent, like the doubling up or whatever. And yeah, I mean, there are some weeks I'll work out every single day, and some weeks where I'll make it like at least 3 days a week, but it's one of those things I'm like learning to just kind of take it a day at a time, because like, for instance, with not being able to work out this week as much, or last week, I'll be like, oh my God, like it's so annoying. Like, but I'm also like, listen, like I'm moving my body. I'm moving boxes, like I'm building stuff. I also work in a restaurant on the weekend, so I'm doing that. Like I'm always like doing stuff. I'm very active anyway, like whether it's like cleaning, organizing, like I'm always like on the go as it is. So, just learning to like have grace. Like when in certain periods, I feel like everyone has things in life, and everyone has moments. Some moments like you're going all in and you're crushing it, and some moments just have some grace. Like if if you can't do all the things like right now, like you will, it's okay. Like right now I'm like, okay, I'm giving myself grace. Like, okay, I can't work out as much as I want to, but it's okay. Like I'll get there. Like, I'm in the middle of a move right now. It's taking a lot out of me, like emotionally too, and mentally. So, starting to like rest right now too. It's like rest, I think, is also so important with exercise. I think that sometimes, it's so easy just to like keep working out and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, like I know for me, like I can work out, I can go so hard that it's like my body will literally like feel so tired that I'm like, all right, I have to rest. I sometimes I'll go to spinning at like 6 a.m. and I love it, but lately that has not been happening for me, and it's okay. Like I have to like learn to like what we were talking about before, like listening to your body and like understanding that whatever your body needs, like you've got to have your own body's back, right? Like know what your body, listen to your body, understand what it needs, and understand that if you can't do all those things today or right this moment, like it's okay. Like just, one step at a time, baby. That's it.
I needed that because I haven't worked out the last 2 days, and you're right. Nobody else knows but me, and I kick.
Yeah.
You're right about the grace because I kick my own ass about it. I'm like,
and be your own biggest fan. That's the thing. I think sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. Like I used to be like very hard on myself and very critical, and I feel like as I've gotten older, I've learned like just like you have to love who you are. You have to love your journey. Like you are you, and no one's going to take care of you better than you. Like no one's going to understand. No one's going to be there. No one's going to know you as much as you know you, right?
Yeah.
But then that's also like taking the time to know who you are, like to really take the time to learn who you are and listen to who you are, and having those moments where you're by yourself and, whatever it is that you want. But I think it's so important to like take a step back and like, it's so good to hang out with people and stuff and socialize, but it's also like have that time where you can really like sit with who you are and sit with yourself and get to know yourself. And, and I think sometimes too, like, if you, like we can get hard on ourselves, we like make a mistake or, we mess up, but it's like in those moments, I'm like, okay, I made a mistake, but you know what? It's okay. Like I'm going to grow from this. Like it's all a growing experience. And, just like, I think that's something I've learned like more lately is like when people call you out on things, or if you make a mistake or whatever, like, okay, you know what? That's fine. That's how it is right now, but it's going to be okay. Like I still love myself. I'm still going to value myself, and I can learn from this, and I can make a better decision next time, So
I love it. Yep. Like you said, 1 minute at a time. That's all it is. 1 minute at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. That's the motto.
Yep.
1 moment at a time. That's
exactly.
it. 1 step at a time.
I want to transition into this. You're an actress.
Yes.
How did you get into acting?
Mm-hmm. So acting for me has been a part of me since I was like 5 years old. I used to take acting classes, actually more when I was like 2, because I grew up in, my grandma sang, my mom sang.
So you were a little thespian, huh?
I was like always singing. I was always performing. I would literally memorize the whole Grease. Like, I don't know if you know Grease.
Yeah,
Grease
of course.
2,
Yeah.
like, I would memorize the whole dance, all the songs, and I would perform for my family at like 4 or 5 years old. Like it was totally normal. So I always knew I had like something going for me with that. I always loved to perform, and like I love to make people laugh. I love to entertain. And, so my mom put me in acting classes when I was really young. And I always did like fine arts camp, like, the summer camps. I always wanted to do fine arts. Like I always wanted that. I always loved theater and going to plays, Broadways, and I've always had such a passion. So when I was a kid, I started doing commercials. When I was like 5, I did like an Ovaltine commercial when I was about 10 years old too. And I just did like little
the chocolate
things here
milk?
And there.
The chocolate milk one?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't think they're around anymore, but I remember them. I remember them back in the day.
I know. You know what? I think they are, because I think I found one recently at a Publix. I'm like, damn, they still sell that shit? Like, I don't know. Like, that shit's still around. Oh, okay.
I remember that on like the 90s and early 2000 commercials. They'd be like Ovaltine, like yeah. I remember.
Oh
that.
yeah, honey, it's a thing. So that was one of my first commercials, and I did that, and then I did like modeling and stuff too. So I was dabbling, and then I took a break for a while. I wanted to like be a kid and be in high school and like do all the kid things. Like I wanted to have fun, and you know, and then it wasn't until I was like older, in my early 20s, or actually my late teens, early 20s, I wanted to get back into more modeling than acting. And then, you know, I wanted to do like fashion modeling, but I realized like, you know, something I've realized is like, you don't have to do fashion modeling to be a model. Like I always thought you had to be like stick skinny, like you had to have like, you know, all the measurements, all the things. But there's so many ways now, like you can do lifestyle modeling, you can do fitness modeling, and you know, learning about that really helped me with my career, because I, you know, obviously, like, I mean, at first I feel like my body has changed, you know, as I've gotten older. But at first, like when I first wanted to get in modeling, I was like very curvy, like my body changed. I was like going, you know, I was like in college, and I don't know about you, but I feel like everyone kind of goes through a phase when they're like in their early 20s, when your body just like changes, or like mid 20s.
Oh
your
yeah,
body just like,
same.
it's totally different. Like I've always been super skinny. And then when I was like 19, 20, I was like, I started developing like a bigger butt and bigger hips. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where's it come? I never saw this before. You know what I mean? So it's like you start to see these things like, oh shit, okay. So anyway, back to the acting thing. So, you know, I realized there was one day I was like, I think I was like 23, 24. And I was like, I remember I was sitting outside one day, like on my patio, and I was just like, oh, like, what is it that's missing from my life right now? Like I felt like in my heart, I'm like, there's something that I want to be doing. And I was already going to school I was going to be studying musical theater at school, but I was just like, you know what? I got to be doing something. Like I need to push myself. Like there's something I need to do. Like I had like this urge. I'm like, I need to go for something. And so then I reached out to my agency that I had when I was a kid. He actually had an adult division. So I reached out to him, and it took me some time, I'm not going to lie, to like really get the ball rolling, because the thing is with acting, it's like when you go from like doing it as a child to doing it as an adult, it's a totally different thing. Like when you're a child, everything's done for you, right? Like you get the photo shoots, you know, you have someone who does all the things. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I'll meet up with the agency and they'll just do it all for me. Like they'll do all the things, they'll get the photo shoot ready, and it'll just be like, boom, 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 done.
Yeah.
It is not like that, honey. Oh, no. You have to do all the things. You have to go on the websites. You have to build your profiles. You have to set up your own photo shoots. You have to connect with agencies. You have to submit to jobs. You have to, you know, update your resumes. You have to take classes. If you don't take classes, no one will take you seriously. Like I swear, like that is one thing. If I can give a tip to any people that want to act, go to all the workshops, take all the classes, do all the workshops, and just educate yourself, because there is nothing more like impressionable to an agent than someone who wants to act and has experience, at least with training. Like if you don't have a lot of experience, like being on set, that's fine. Take the classes, just educate yourself, look it up, research, YouTube, read the books. Like there's so many things. So for me, it started when I was I started doing it professionally when I was 24. And yeah, I just, you know, I started taking classes. I really buckled down. I read books, read all the books. I built my website, and I'm telling you, it's one of those things though. It never fucking stops, bro. You got to keep at it all the time. Like people look at me and they look at my page like, oh, you're crushing, you're doing this, blah, blah. And they probably think it's like so like glitz and glam. Like, you know, you're on set getting your hair and makeup done. And I'm like, honey, do you know what went on behind all this? Like, do you know all the videos I had to put together, all the reels I had to put together? Do you know all the photo shoots I had to do? Like all the workshops? Like you have to like learn as you go, and then realize you really don't know anything. Like, I mean, yeah, you know stuff, but there's still so much more to learn. Like it's a work in progress. So every time I'm on set, I always make it a point to like network, get to know people, like, listen to their story, like what they know. Cause you can always learn from each other and you can always collaborate. I've met so many friends on set that to this day, like we'll still keep in touch. And even like photographers, videographers, casting directors, like you always want to keep a good impression with people. I think that's like a really good tip too for people that want to get into acting. Always leave a good impression. Be respectful, be kind, whatever you got going on outside of whatever you've got, whatever, if you go on to set, be super receptive, listen, and just have like a good, have a good energy about you because people remember that. I remember, I've worked on set on hundreds of sets now and people remember you. Like, you don't know sometimes, like, and also like networking, like exchanging Instagrams or exchanging numbers, like get to know people on like a personal level because these people they'll be your friends. And then when they're your friends, like they'll want to help you out. That they have something coming up, like a commercial or whatever. Be like, hey, you know what? That girl, like, she had a great attitude, and she's super sweet, and like I want her again. Like, people remember that. They remember how you make them feel, and it's always good to like leave a good impression and be respectful, be kind, and no matter who it is, you go on set, say hi to everyone. Like, who cares? Like, hello, hi. It takes 2 seconds. Hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Like anything. And people appreciate it because, the thing is like you go on set and, a lot of the time it's super early. You got to get there at like 6 a.m. You're there the whole day. But keep in mind, you're there at 6 a.m. Production is there probably like at 3 a.m.
Yeah. I was gonna say they're there getting the cameras, the lights. Yeah,
they're getting there at 3:30 a.m. and they probably continue to work the day before until like midnight. Like you don't know what people go through. You don't know what their days are like, and so it's always like good to have a perception or perspective that everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own story. Everyone has their own part and their own thing that they're doing on set, and just to be like mindful and be respectful and just be nice to people. Like, if anything, like just I think it's super, super important. Like always be humble, always say hi, thank you so much. Like, try to shake hands with people, like, or I don't know, I know COVID people don't shake hands as much, but I mean maybe they do now, but I don't know, one of those fist bump.
Yeah, elbow bumps.
Yeah, fist bump.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was so hard for me though, because I'm a hugger. Like I love hugs. So for me, like it was so weird, like to not hug as much, But I feel like we're getting there. We're getting back to it.
Yeah. I think
it's slowing down. Hopefully.
Manifest. Yeah. Right.
Manifest.
Keep manifest. Exactly. No, I think you're right.
Good vibes.
Just having empathy and putting yourself in the situation of other people and just kind of recognizing that, like you said, production has been there for a while. You're probably exhausted, as are they. You're not the only one that's tired. You're not the only one working hard. So it's kind of it's a team effort. You all have to kind of, recognize that and recognize that you're all on the same team, trying to make one solid product. So
right. And always like be professional. I think that's super important. Like, like I'm very like, I like to make people laugh. Like I said, I like to, like lighten the mood. Like that's like my vibe, but also be professional. If they're telling you, hey, be there at this time, you better show up like 5 minutes early or 10, 15 minutes early. Like you better be there because that's the thing. Like people, they will hold you accountable. If you're not there or if they ask you to bring certain things, like they ask you to, like for instance, with wardrobe, when they tell me to bring wardrobe, I'm that person. I bring a whole fucking suitcase. I'll bring all the things. I bring all the options. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I'm helping them. They're helping me because look, the more options I bring, it's easier on the wardrobe. And then I can wear my own stuff too, which is fine. But that was one thing I learned is like, when they ask you to bring certain things, you better make sure you bring those things because if you come on set and you don't have the things that they ask, they're going to look at you and be like, the fuck? Like, did they read the email? Like, I don't understand. It's like, you want to always like be on your A game, So have a fucking suitcase. I don't care. Like, even if it's a big ass, like have all the things. The more options you have, the more things that you have to offer, they will remember. They'll be like, wow, that girl, damn, she is so easy to work with. She knows what to do. Like she's done this, but like, it just makes you look like you know what you're doing. That I always say this, like for women too, especially, always have your makeup on set. Always bring your makeup. bring a steamer, bring like nude undergarments. Like, it's just like, these are things that always have them because you will probably need them. And even if you don't, if you have it, it's still better to have it.
Ladies,
Like it does not take that much longer,
Ladies,
yeah.
in other words, bring your whole fucking closet. All right.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, like, you don't have to bring like a big ass suitcase to every set, but I'm always like, listen, the more the better, then they'll remember you, and and then they'll want to work with you again because they're like, wow, like, this girl really knows what the fuck she's doing. Like, she understands, like, we're all doing this together, and it's like what you're saying, it's a team effort, it's a collaborative. Like, we're all creatives coming together to create something, and why not just be as helpful as possible,
So I have a story about that, about being over prepared is better than being underprepared, because one time I went on set and I brought a whole bunch of stuff. I even brought like a silly outfit. I brought a sombrero, and they used me as a extra that was like credited because of the sombrero, because I like stood out and I did something to. So in other words,
that's what I'm saying.
In other words, either bring your best Halloween costume or bring your whole closet. Either one.
Either one works, bro. Whatever. Hey, and that's the thing too. Always keep in mind, like, so when I first started out in acting, I did a lot of extra jobs. Like, I'm talking jobs that did not pay a lot. Like, I did like, I would work on set for like 12, 13 hours, maybe make like $100, $80 to $100, 120, like, not a lot of money, but it's so good to get experience.
It is good to get on set. Yeah.
Just go, like, if you really want to start and you really want to take your acting career to the next level, I've met so many people. I've networked with so many different people on set. I've learned so much on set, and just being on set is the best way to learn. Like, even if you're not getting paid a lot, like, there are so many things you could do for like student films too. Like, if you want to get into that, you can like work, like, you don't have to, you won't get paid, but I mean, I always think it's good to get at least something. So I would recommend doing jobs where you get paid at least a little something, but take the jobs, like, take the extra jobs, go on set, talk to production, talk to people, like, just get to know people, learn the lingo. There's so many different terms, like terminologies that people use, like standby, or like
continuity,
back to one, reset, continuity, there's so many different things. So I'll give you an example. Like when they say reset on set, it means go back. When they say back to one, reset, that means go back to your first position. So they're going to position you in a way, and then they'll do the scene. When they say rolling, that means the camera is rolling. Obviously, it's not action yet, but when it's rolling, and you can, they're getting the cameras ready. When they say action, you go whatever. And when they say back to one, that means you go back to your first position. So just a little tip for any of you guys that are, learning about acting and you want to know. So, but yeah, I just think it's so good. Like, get on set, get educated, get the experience, because there's nothing better. You're gonna learn the quickest and fastest by actually doing it, I think.
Yeah. Totally agree.
And just talking to people. Literally, I don't, I'm that kind of person. I always say I'm like an introvert extrovert. So like, I love being social and talking, like, don't get me wrong, but I can also be a hermit. Like, I can also just keep to myself, and like, but when you're on set, you got to turn that shit off, bro. Do not be a hermit on set. Like, talk to people, because I'm telling you, you don't know who you're going to meet. Yeah. Like, you can meet like your best friend on set. You can meet your next potential like client on set. You can meet like the next director on set that's going to want you in a movie. Like, there's so many opportunities. And I think, like, going on set, just get yourself prepared. Be like, okay, I'm going to be talking a lot. I'm going to be socializing, but it's going to be for the greater good, because it always comes back. It always pays off. I've never gone on set and like said, oh, wow, I talked too much today. Like, you know what I mean? You never go on set and say like, wow, I met too many people today. Like, like, it's always good to learn and we're reflections of each other too. Like your podcast name, the Reyes Reflections, like, we're reflections of each other. So you're meeting people that are on the same like energy wavelength as you, in a sense that you don't even know it yet, once you start talking, you're like, oh shit, okay, like we can help each other, and you'll start to help each other. And then what happens a lot is you'll start to see the acting community is so much smaller than you think. You see the same people over and over again. Like you really do. I met so many people on set, and I've worked with the same people multiple times. That's why I always say, leave a good impression, be a professional, be respectful. People remember, because then they're going to see you again, and you want to be remembered for like, doing your best and like being kind and like having a good attitude. It's just, it's never a good look to like have, like I see people on set and they're just like super rude or like, and I'm just like, bro, aren't you just happy to be here right now? Like you're literally on set. Like, if you're not happy, you don't have to do this. Like it's not for everyone. I'm not saying like, I feel like I'm on a tangent, but I know it's not for everyone, but if it's something that you really want and it makes you happy, just put on a good face and make the best, So.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. All right, I have a question for you about this. What is a special talent that you have on your acting resume?
Well, on my acting resume, I don't think I have it, but I mean, I can wiggle my ears.
You can wiggle your ears. Are you gonna do it? Were you gonna do it?
Do you want me to do it?
Yes.
Do you want me to
do it?
Oh my god.
I would love to. Let's see it.
I don't know if you can. Hold on.
Oh my god! Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. That should be that needs to be on your acting resume. Oh my goodness. No, I similarly, I can't wiggle my ears, but I can actually curl my ear. So there you go. That's a
stop.
No.
On command?
No. I have to use my hand, but I mean.
What? Wait, what do you mean? You gotta show me.
All right. Here we go. Taking my ear. All right, ready? Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. Did you see it?
No, wait, I don't know.
All right, hold on. Ready?
See that?
I know my hair is messy because I'm trying to grow it back out. All right, ready? All right, so.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
The fuck? Ah!
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently I can do that because when I was younger, all I did was play with my ears. So apparently when I was like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah.
But on my resume, a special skill, I mean, I have a lot of skills, I guess, but I'm not trying to sound cocky. That sounded really cocky.
Yeah, I got a lot of skills.
As far
the resume can't handle how many skills I have.
I know. Like, listen, honey, the resume better calm down. Kidding. As far as special skills, I feel like that's something I've realized is like keep your skills to a minimum, because when I first started, I would say I could do all these things, like I could do blah blah blah, and for instance, like I'll tell you a funny story. So I remember I was auditioning. So I used to play a lot of golf, right? Like I can still play, but I used to like take lessons, and I was super into golf as a kid, and I had an audition to be a golf player, right? I'm like, oh, no big deal. Like golf, like hello. I literally took lessons like when I was a kid, totally fine. Like I should nail this. And I remember I went to the audition, and the casting director, he must have given me like 4 tries. I could not hit the ball once. It was so bad. I mean, I've improved since then. I will say, like, disclaimer, I have improved my golfing skills since. But at the time, I literally left the audition and I took it off my resume. I'm like, bitch, you cannot play like you thought
you had to humble yourself.
I literally, and now I can. I've practiced more. Like, it's fine. But I just remember thinking, like, okay, shit, like, I got to go back on my resume, take all the things off that I thought I was good at, because there's nothing more embarrassing than like being like auditioning for something and then like you can't do it, and they're just like, okay, you know what? I think that's enough for today. And you're just like, oh my god.
They're like, all right, we're good. You're like, wait, do you want?
Like,
no,
okay,
no, we're good.
Thanks for letting me leave. Let me leave in my misery, please. Like, let me go.
You're like, but there's one more thing. No, we got everything we need here. We're good.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. I guess a special skill would be I can do a really good British accent. I don't know if that. you know.
You can do a very good British accent.
Well, because I'm also half British, so I think that's probably a thing. But yeah, I can do a really good accent. When I was a kid,
I'm gonna say right now. Let's see if you're full of shit. I need to hear this British accent.
Well, so funny story though. When I was a kid, I used to actually talk to people in a British accent, and they actually thought that I was like from England. Like I would literally meet them, and be like, "Hello," blah, blah, blah. Like you know, like and so they would be like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes, I really am from England." Like you know. Okay, what do you want me to say?
All right. That's a tough one. Just say hello. My name's Ashley, and I'm from England. Let's hear that.
Hello, my name is Ashley, and I'm from England.
Did you say that regularly, or did you say that with a British accent?
With a British accent. Wait, was that? Hello, my name is Ashley, and I'm from England. Is that better?
I'm shitting on you. I act like I can do a British accent, and I can't do any accent. I can't even.
It's so funny now. I feel like I'm not doing a good job. I'm like, wait, I'm not doing. You're making me nervous. Oh gosh, almighty! Put me on the spot.
It is. Pressure, I did put you on the spot. Hey, you know what? I say I can play guitar. I have my guitar there, and then I get put on the spot, and I can't play a chord. So I'm right there with you.
Oh my god. I used to have that too because I used to play the guitar, I used to play the piano and all that, and I haven't played in so long. So yeah, I took that off my resume. I'm like, I'm not. If I ever have to play, like, you know what I mean? It's like, why put all these things? So I feel like if anything, a little tip for anybody getting into acting, it'll ask you all your skill sets. Like when you get into the, you know, there's different like websites and things or whatever, and on your resume you put like your special skills. Don't put all the things that you did when you were a kid, guys. Like just put the things that you are expert in now. Okay, it'll save you a lot of trouble and you know, because
and a lot of embarrassment.
Yeah, and a lot of embarrassment because there's nothing more embarrassing than going to an audition and trying to do something, knowing you really probably are not going to do, you know, that great. But I'm also very much like, if it's better to go than not go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like listen, if you're unsure or whatever, I always say like okay, it's kind of like sales, right? So like, you know, if you get 100 no's, like you're gonna get a yes. You know, like the more times you put yourself out there, the more times you audition and try for things, the more opportunities you're gonna get in return, because like you're giving yourself more things, more variety of options, right? So I'm always like, every audition, I try to do every single one, and obviously it's hard to do every single one, but as many as you can. I think it's good to just put yourself out there as much as you can, do as many auditions as you can. But when it comes to your special talents, if they say, hey, we need a pro swimmer, and you used to take lessons as a kid and you don't swim as much as you do now, do not audition, do not say you're a pro swimmer, because they will ask you to do some crazy shit. But then again, every situation is different. You kind of have to take it as it comes. I feel like, take it every one step at a time, one moment at a time, right? Back to the motto.
Best advice Ashley gave was keep trying, because I've been trying to get her on my show now for months. I tried to get her on the show for months, and it finally worked. No,
my gosh! I'm kidding. I know. Literally, I feel so sorry. Like, I felt so bad because I've been trying. I know we've been trying to do this for so long, and I'm like so happy that we're finally doing it.
Yeah, no, I am.
Like, literally, though, it's so good. This has been so awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. I love this.
No problem. So, modeling is such a tough field as well. There can be many, many insecurities. How are you able to be so successful while still being so secure within yourself?
Oh, great question. So it's one of those things, like I said before, one moment at a time, one day at a time. It's definitely a work in progress. It's one of those things, I kind of had to decide for myself in the beginning that no matter how many times I got rejected for things, it was going to be fine. Like, there was going to be another yes, like if I get a no, it's fine. There's going to be a yes somewhere else. Like, that's how my mindset has been. It's like, okay, you don't get this job. You don't get this. You don't get that. There's opportunity in other places. So I kind of have that where, if I get rejected, like, it doesn't bother me anymore because I've made that decision. Like, okay, I'm getting into this industry. I'm going to get rejected. I'm going to hear no, but I'm still going to find the other jobs. Like there's going to be other opportunities. So with, as far as feeling secure and feeling confident, I think that, you know, practicing your poses is super important. Knowing what your looks are, knowing your angles, doing as many photo shoots as possible, like getting comfortable in front of the camera. But I think practicing in front of the mirror is a huge thing because you want to know what works for your body. Like, you know, I'll even go on Pinterest, I'll go on Instagram, look up different poses and practice them, and, you know, see what works, see what angle, what pose works for you and what you like. And, you know, like I said, practicing in front of the camera and, you know, just keeping a healthy mindset. I think it's so important to have a healthy, have good mental health. And I think that's something I really focused on more so, you know, even with modeling, is that you have to be mentally strong. So when it comes to rejection, when it comes to people telling you, like I had someone tell me when I first started that I needed to lose 30 pounds. And it honestly did destroy me. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, as a woman, you know, you don't want to hear that you won't have to lose all this weight and whatever. But, you know, you kind of go through those things. And I've also had, you know, I remember I had like a fitting. I was modeling for this brand and they were like, oh, and I had the job, but I had to go take my measurements, and my measurements were not what they wanted. Like, let's just say that they were bigger than what they had wanted. And they literally told me to like not eat for like that weekend to lose the inches. And it's like, bro, like, that's why I feel like there's nothing more humbling than someone literally telling you, like people can say anything to me now. I'm like, you can literally tell me anything and then nothing will fucking faze me, because like, these are just the kinds of things that you deal with. But at the end of the day, you know, you kind of have to be mentally strong. Take every critical thing that people tell you, just take it with a grain of salt and make sure you're just taking care of yourself. So that's why for me, like exercising, eating good, you know, meditation, yoga, you know, getting outside in nature, spending time with like my animals. Like, I have 3 cats, hanging out with my cats, like, and spending time with people that make you feel your best self, reading, like, just, I think that when it comes to modeling, it's like, it's a really big, it's like, it's all about your physicality, but it all starts with your inside. So, you know, being mentally strong, being mentally aware, and being able to handle things that people are going to tell you without personal, because it's so easy to do that. It's so easy to let people say things to you, and then you're just like, the fuck you think like, if people say like, oh, you know, like they comment on your outfit or whatever, if it's too tight or what, you know, and that's the thing. I feel like as women, like, our bodies fluctuate so much more because, you know, we have like our periods every month. So like, you know, your body's constantly like going through things. And I feel like that's something, like I said earlier, just like having grace. Like, I have so much more grace with myself now than when I started, because I know that as long as I'm taking care of myself, as long as I'm exercising, as long as I'm, you know, waking up each day, having gratitude, you know, just being thankful to like be where I am, and even just to like be alive, like, you know, just taking a moment to like be grateful for, you know, the opportunities that are around you. And like I said, every time someone says no, someone else is going to say yes, dude. Like, have that mindset, like, never get discouraged. Always know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you will get the opportunities if you believe in yourself, and if you feel that, you know, if you love something, if you have a passion for something and it makes you feel good, I just feel like you have to go for it. And, you know, it's not easy. Like, there are times when it's, you know, obviously more challenging, like there's not as much work, or like, you know, you'll get more work on other days, but it's like a work in progress every single day. Just have a strong mental capacity to handle anything in life, whether it's modeling, acting, building a business, you know, anything in life. It's just the same motto. Just have grace with yourself, be kind to yourself, and honor who you are. Love who you are, bro. Like, the more you love just take a moment to like appreciate yourself really. Like, you know, what do you need right now? What is it that you want? What do you want to accomplish? You know, what are your goals? Like, you know, who, like just anything that it is for yourself that you need. I think that is something that really helps, especially, you know, in any kind of industry, modeling, acting, you know, it's just having a solid base of knowing who you are, knowing what you're about, honoring who you are, and feeling grateful for who you are, because, you know, that's gonna come out, right? Like that's gonna come out in other ways. And, you know, I just think especially with modeling, it's a really tough industry because, you know, it's all about like your looks, right? It's all about like how you look. And so, you know, that's why, you know, for me, it's like, I feel like to have a good outside, you have to have a good inside. So if you feel really good about yourself on the inside and you're taking care of yourself and, you know, you're exercising, you're eating good, like, you know, you're spending time with people that make you feel good, and you're really conscious about keeping the energy good. Like for me, like I love to like wake up in the morning, I open the shades, let the natural light come in, I play some music, like I get the mood going. Like I want to feel good, because that's what helps me. You know, that's what helps me like with my mental health is like, I know for me, it's like, I like to dance, I like music, I like to do things that make me feel good. And I think taking, you know, because it's so easy to like fall into like, you know, not feeling good enough, you know, if you don't get a job, like, oh, they didn't like me because of whatever. But really, it has nothing to do with you. You know, if you audition for something and they pick someone else, it just wasn't right for you. It just wasn't right for you, girl.
Yeah.
Or guy, like it wasn't right for you. And there's something else that's going to be right for you. Just keep the options open, keep your mind open, and take preventative actions every day to prevent yourself from getting into that place. So like, you know, doing things that, like I said, that make you feel good, or like for me, like I said, opening up the shades, listening to music, dancing around my house. I also really like to like organize, like I like to keep things like tidy, so I like do that kind of thing, you know, and spending time with people. There's just finding things that make you feel good, to keep you good on the inside, that's what's going to come out on the outside. And I think that it all kind of like, you know, even vision boards are so powerful. I love vision boards. Like I look at mine all the time, and it's like, have a goal, have a vision, know where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, like where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You know, like who knows? Like, you know, so just have a goal.
I love it.
I really, I went on a lot about that, but I feel like that's just something I'm super passionate about. You know, like you have to know where you're going. You have to know what you want for yourself, because no one, like you could ask people, what should I do? What should I do? That at the end of the day, it's on you. Like what do you, and take time to really know like who the fuck you are, what you want. Like really get to know yourself, bro. You are the only person, like you are you. You are literally you, and that's all you can do. That's all you are right now. Like you are you, and the better you can get to know yourself, the better life you'll have, honestly, I think.
I read something that said you're stuck with yourself, so you got to learn how to love yourself. Like, and that's just, and it's one of those things where it's like,
I love that.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think you did a very good job at explaining, because it's true. It's true. The way that you are internally is the way that you'll project externally, and people will see that. It'll be radiant. It'll be noticeable. It'll be an attractive thing. It'll be
energy is everything.
Exactly. It's like, oh, look at that. Look, I'm attracted to that energy now. I want to be around that person. I want to talk to that person, and it's important to still be, you know, to yourself, and you're an introvert as well. Similar to you, I feel like I'm a introvert / extrovert. I love being out there. I love dancing. I love being a nutcase. But I also love my me time too, and it's just it's something that I definitely value and appreciate. Yeah.
And it's so good because, you know, like I said, energy is everything, dude. Like, you know, whenever I walk on set, or I go into work, or I'm, you know, if I'm around people, I literally put myself in a place like, okay, let me bring out as much good energy as I can, because it's gonna come back. It bounces back to you, dude. Like when people are having a rough day, like if I'm not feeling my best self, I don't want to go and like I'm probably gonna want to. I need to fix that before I spread it around to other people too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But with that, it's also like it's interesting because, you know, sometimes when you're feeling down, like you want to hibernate and isolate, but it's also good to like be around people that make you feel good, that you can be yourself around, because that's important. But also being conscious that, you know, you are projecting things onto that person. So being aware that you never want to like, you know, I'm not saying dump, but you also just be aware of like the energy you're putting out. So even if you're not feeling your best, like I don't know, I feel like sometimes like people, you know, if they're feeling a certain way, they'll like call up, like, I don't know, like I had a friend, they like called me, they're going through something, they're like on the phone with me, like screaming at me about someone else. And it's like, okay, and it's like over an hour of like hearing this, and I'm finally like, all right, girl, like I'm drained. I gotta go to sleep. Like I fucking, you know, because it's like you gotta like, but at the same time, it's good. Like you want to have people in your life that will obviously listen to you, and you want to be heard and all the things. But I feel like it's also, there comes a time when it's like, okay, hold the phone. Like what can I do right now for myself to like get myself in a better headspace, you know, and like not projecting too much negativity onto others, because I think like that's just, it's draining for them too, right? It's like you want to try to help people, but you know, and help yourself, but also just be aware of how people are perceiving that energy. You know, if I am going through something, I feel like I always am trying to be aware of how I'm saying it and like what I'm saying, and like, and if I am venting a lot, okay, great, but like, at what point am I gonna say, you know what, okay, like I understand, like let's look at the lighter end of the spectrum here. You know, like how long are you gonna let that fizzle out until you're both just sitting there like, fuck, like, okay, now, you know what I mean? Because then it's like just a draining thing for both of you, and it's like, okay, now we're both fucking drained. So what is that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Couple more questions. In my research, I found that you are a huge Justin Timberlake fan. Is this still true?
Love him. Yes, I've seen him in concert many, many times when he was with NSYNC, when he's a solo artist. I love him. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I my favorite song from him is one that actually it never played on the radio. And maybe you know it, maybe you don't. Strawberry Bubblegum. I don't know if you know that song.
Of course I do. Yes.
Favorite song.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that song.
It never played on the radio, but I always love that song.
Oh my God, and I really love, that's so funny, because I feel like he's the kind of artist where you could let his whole album play and like it's all fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can just let everything go. And I love artists like that. Like he's one artist that I always like, okay, Justin, if you're listening, I would love to collaborate with you.
So would I, Justin. Justin, by the way, so would I. I mean,
yeah, well, because I sing, like I love to write songs, and you know, I'm very like musical like that too. So, but he's an artist that I have always respected. Like I love his music, I love his voice, I love like his vibe. I think he's always been a super influential artist in my life, and I love his music. So definitely that song. It's such a vibe. Guys, go listen to that song if you haven't heard it. It's so chill.
I love him too. I listened to I used to love NSYNC growing up, and I would be that kid that because back then, I know this is a weird world that we live in where you can have music readily available, but back then you couldn't, and you had to hear it on the radio. So whenever I would hear it on the radio, I would not let my mom turn the car off until I heard the completion of the song. So I know that that's different nowadays because you can just pause it on your phone, go upstairs and listen to it. But NSYNC was my jam.
Gosh, yeah. Times have changed, that's for sure. I love Spotify.
Yep.
It's my favorite.
My final question.
And YouTube.
My final question of the day, of the interview, is going to be this. All right? It's going to be a silly one. What conspiracy theory do you believe in?
Oh,
hold on 1 second. Hold on, I got something. Hold on. Ready? Well, you go ahead. You're gonna share that. All right, hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Hi. I'm wearing my conspiracy theory hat so I can believe what you say.
Get out.
There you go. All right. So, what conspiracy theory do you believe in now that I'm, protected from aliens right now?
Oh my gosh, you are so funny. This took a turn, huh? Okay. I mean, I guess as far as conspiracy theories, I definitely I'm definitely a nerd with conspiracy theories, so I won't get too much into it right now. But one of the things that I was actually just speaking to some friends about it yesterday is that I think that there are, aliens and, UFOs. Like, I don't know. I think that there's definitely something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way it's like the universe is so massive and like there's so many planets and universes that there's got to be other life, right? Like, I don't know. That's my thing. I think there's definitely some.
That's why I wear the hat. That's why this is the alien hat. This is it. No, I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. I do believe in that as well. I think I think
like I've definitely seen UFOs too. I feel like there have been times
I
feel like I've seen it, and I mean the thing is like I try to not get too weird about it though, because I'm like, you know what? If there are other life forms, like I'm just gonna be nice to them. Like we can be friends. Like,
yeah, right. Fine. Yeah, look at that.
We can hang out. We can kick it. Like,
look at I'm one of you. Look at I'm wearing your hat. I'm one of you. Like we're both in the same field. That's what I would say to them. No, I agree with you.
Listen,
and I feel like I've seen
it. Okay, we're the same but different. Yeah, that's it.
I agree with you. I feel like it's the same. I feel like I've seen a UFO before in my life. I definitely feel like I've seen one before. But yeah, no,
I just feel like there has to be other, like there has to be, right? Like I don't know. It just seems like there's so much in this world that I don't know. It just wouldn't make sense if there wasn't. And it's one of those things I don't know if we'll ever know in this generation, but I mean, I think that it's definitely a thing. So that's my theory. So
hopefully someday we hear about it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
but I'm hoping that if we do hear from it, then we'll just like all be friends and like we can all just hang out together.
Yeah, we'll just vibe and listen to some Justin Timberlake and together.
Yes, and some strawberry bubblegum.
and they'll say, oh, we have blueberry bubblegum in our planet. So there you go.
Right. Like maybe like an alternate universe where it's like, you ever think that maybe there's an alternate universe that's like someone like living your life in a way that you would have lived it if you made a different decision
all the time?
Like, do you think there's like an alternate reality?
All the time.
That's fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah, all the time. I say to myself all the time that there's got to be some sort of like parallel
alternate
version
universe,
of me doing something, living his best life as well, wearing ridiculous tinfoil hats, but still loving life. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. That's amazing.
That's just me. So, Ashley, thank you so much for coming on. You're incredibly talented. I appreciate you taking the time. Where can people find you? So that way they can see all the hard work that you put in.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been so freaking fun, and I love our vibe. Everyone can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So on Instagram and TikTok, it's at Ashley Rose Sacks, SACKS. And then on YouTube,
I like how you had to clear that up.
Well, because people they're like, oh, SAX. I'm like, no, bitch, no. Or SACH. I'm like, no, honey, SACK. Okay, thank you. No. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do that a lot. And then I'm on YouTube at Ashley Sacks. My name is it's also Vegan Boss Babe on YouTube. I'm on Twitter at Ashley Rose Sacks, and anything else? I'm trying to think. Pinterest. So I'm mainly.
What about your MySpace? What about your MySpace?
Oh my god, bro, MySpace. Are you kidding? Hello, that shit. That was, times have changed.
I used to pop off on MySpace. I used to pop off on my.
So if you weren't on my top 8, honey, you were not it. No,
yeah. So I speaking of this, before we go, I saw something that said, Instagram needs to have this feature in which you can put a song on and people can hear it every time you go on your playlist or your profile.
Yeah.
And I literally looked at that and one of the comments said, honey, you are way too young. You don't understand that. Now we're in a generation where people don't know MySpace. And I'm like, MySpace was it. Your top 5 best friends were seen. Although MySpace would get people in trouble because they'd be like, you're not on my top 5? What? You're on? Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, bitch, I'm not number 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah. MySpace would get people in trouble. So
So true. Oh my God. I know. Those are the good old days, though. I'm not going to lie. Definitely taught me a lot, even about like coding. No, I'm not kidding. I didn't even know I was coding.
Really?
Like when I was on MySpace. Oh yeah. Because you know, if you want to make your page look a certain way, like aesthetically pleasing, if you wanted to have like all the things,
Yeah.
you had a code, bro. Like literally, I was a fucking coder. I didn't even know like 12. Like, oh, okay, let's just do that. Like,
And at least then we knew that we still had Tom as our friend. Always. Old reliable
oh my
Tom.
God, Tom. I fucking can't. That's so funny. I love it.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chop it up with me. I feel like I definitely could do this all day, but I know we've got lives.
I know. We should definitely do it again. This was so fun. And I'll have you on my podcast once mine, because I'm definitely starting one soon. So I'll have you on mine too.
Oh my God, I would love to be on your podcast. I love it. I love it. I love networking and connecting. So,
oh my gosh, me too.
Thank you so much again, Ashley, for coming on, being a guest. I really had a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Don't forget to share the episode with everyone you know, so that way we can continue to grow organically. As you know, on the Reyes Reflection podcast, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm the male Oprah. I love you all. Get your free.
The male Oprah.
Get yourself some Ovaltine. All right, while you're at it, support the girl Ashley.
I love Oprah. I love that you said that. I love Oprah. I want to be like her. I want to be like her when I grow up. That's amazing. Thank you so much. It was so fun. Definitely have to do it again.
You're welcome. For sure. Well, thank you so much.
Yes.